On July 27, 2021, while Randy was helping Thessalonica's kids with their homework on the computer, he came across a website that his wife had previously visited. Now, I'm not sure what was on this website, but when he saw it, he became very suspicious, and as soon as she returned home, he confronted her about it. Thessalonica immediately took offense to it and started arguing with him. As they were standing there going at it, the kids became a little worried, so they decided to take the argument to the bedroom. Once that door shut behind them, they got right back to it, yelling and screaming at one another, calling each other out their name, and at one point, Randy threatened to leave her. Then all of a sudden, a loud bang echoed throughout the house. In a panic, both of the kids ran back to their mother's bedroom to figure out what had happened. And this is when they discovered Randy lying on the floor with a gunshot wound in his back. As he was lying there paralyzed and bleeding, he pleaded with his kids to call 911, but their mother snapped and told them they better not call the police, then demanded them to go to their room. Then later on that night, Thessalonica came into their room, waking them up, then asked them to help drag Randy's deceased body out her room to her car. Afraid and confused, they went into their mother's room where Randy was laying and tried with all their might to help their mother drag his body out her room. But after several attempts, they weren't able to move him far because he was just too heavy. Now, the very next day, Thessalonica came up with a plan to dispose Randy's body. So she went to a hardware store, and within a few hours, she returned home with an axe and cleaning supplies. Then told the kids, help me get his body back in my room. Later on that same day, she walks back into their room and tells them to get up and come help move the body again. But when they got in their room, they noticed that something was different. Their mom had cut off Randy's leg. As the kids were positioning themselves to pick up the body, she grabbed a plastic bag and put both of his legs in, then assisted the kids with placing the rest of the body in a tote bag. She figured that this would make it easier to pick up the body and put it in her car so she could drive to South Bend and set it on fire. This is when she decided to call her first child's father, Rory Walker. She told him that Randy had been beating on the kids and she was on the way to pick him up so he could handle the issue. But when they got back to her house, she showed him Randy's dead body and told him that she had to do something to stop him from beating on her, so she shot him. She then asked him to help move the body, but he wasn't having it. He told her he didn't want anything to do with it and take him back home. At this point, Rory didn't know what Thessalonica was going to do, so he pulled out his phone and reported the murder to the police. Then sometime later, she was finally spotted in the parking lot of an Ace Hardware store sitting in her vehicle. As they approached her, she immediately started crying and yelling out, "You guys don't understand, he beats me." Now, once she was detained and taken in, she then told them that his body was still at her place in a tote bag because she panicked and didn't know what to do after she shot him. Now, it was a totally different story from what the kids told the investigators. They denied any physical altercation and stated that Randy wasn't abusive. In fact, he was a sweet person. Now, once they searched the home, they also found several handwritten notes that appeared to have a checklist on it. The first note stated, "Hit with hammer, stab him, roll body up in sheet and plastic bag, then put body in Lincoln, drive to SB, leave body in car while running. Jay brings me back to LP." Thessalonica Allen appeared in court the following week and pleaded not guilty after facing more than a half dozen charges that included murder, abuse of a corpse, and child neglect. As of today, she is being held without bail in the LaPorte County Jail in Indiana